Morning everybody, it's Chris here from Student Education. Just going to be going over the four measures this morning on our CTC strategy for the 31st of May 2011. Starting with the euro, let's have a look at the daily. Okay, you'll notice that the last week has seen the euro gain strength against the US dollar, and subsequently we've seen price now breaking through Asian market trading. As of last night, we've seen price trading above a prior resistance and support at the 14,300 mark, and now trading above the 20 but also slightly above the 50 now. Ideally what we would like to see is this price continue to the upside. You can see it's tested the previous swing low after this breakout, so you can see this lower swing, this lower. Now we're testing the previous swing at the 1441.20 mark. Ideally like to see price trading above that. If we see price trading closing higher than the 50 period moving average, as well as this area here at roughly the 14,400 mark, then we could see price definitely moving further upside, and ultimately our next target would be the prior resistance level that we saw at 14,800 back in early or late April and early May. So let's have a look and see where this 50 period moving average is to give us an idea of resistance intraday. So this 50 period over here will definitely come in play at 14,350 if I'm not mistaken. So if we look at an intraday chart, let's have a look at that. 350 on a 4 hour, there you have it. Notice that the 14,400 is the high end of this on our daily, and you can see the 200 period moving average is the resistance level for that time frame. Notice in this weeks of uptrend we had higher swings dictating price movement, and now we're testing a very strong resistance and support level. So be aware we might have a bit of consolidation, possibly a pullback of some sort. And there is the 1400 mark. So you can see this is the area that price needs to be trading above. This is the 50 period moving average on a daily time frame. So as long as price can stay above this, then obviously we could see further upside move, because then it's trading above an all important intermediate swing or moving average. So, and this is the resistance level for the daily long term. So very important. So if it can consolidate around here, then obviously we could see further progression for the remainder of the week. However, if it fails to break above 1400 and pulls back below the 14,300 mark, then we could see this is a consolidation band on a bigger time frame, and we could see price pulling right back, as mentioned on a daily earlier. So what we're looking for is obviously you could trade between the band. So the 1400 mark is a daily resistance. Ideally, if we can see a price break above that, then this is going to be bode well for the remainder of the day. We could see a slight hesitation before we saw continuation in the US session. However, if it fails and breaks lower than the 50 period moving average on a daily, which is the 14,300 mark, then we could see consolidation for much of the week before we see another attempt to the upside. Having a look at all the charts, you'll notice that the CTC is extended blue, obviously confirming the uptrend. Notice on the daily we have blue bars, blue across the top, even though we have a red consolidation. Ideally we'd like to see another blue arrow confirming price movement. So I think once on a daily we see a break close above the 3,500 and also above the prior swing here at 14,400, then we could definitely see a blue arrow confirming further upside movement for this pair. Next up is sterling against the US dollar. Let's have a look at the daily. Here again, like its euro counterpart, we can see that they found a lot of bullishness against its US counterpart, and as it stands now, we've had a lot of positiveness. It's broken above a prior resistance support level just recently, a major one here, just below the 16,400 mark. Prior resistance, and then break above, a bit of slight consolidation. This level here coming at a prior area roughly around the 16,700 mark. It's found support at that level. The moving averages have all crossed over on this time frame, and all importantly, our CTCs in our favor. We have our blue arrow, blue candle, and the blue across the top, which is confirming further progression to the upside. Targets would be ideally the all-time high here, right around at the 16,700 mark. It's testing a prior swing, a pullback area as we speak. It's testing that as we speak. So ideally, if we can trade above that, but all importantly, if it stays above the 16,4700 mark, then we're looking for further extensions to the upside. And this is just a pullback. Failure to do so, but obviously see price pull back to the prior resistance level, and this time with a strong one at roughly the 16,3800 mark. So failure to find support at 16,4700, and a close lower would see the 16,3800 mark being the first port of call. If it closes higher than 1654 or 5200, then we could definitely see 1670 or 16700 as our next target for this pair. So intraday, let's put that in. So 164700, 164700. Let's put that on a daily. Is an all-important area that the price needs to trade above. You'll notice that that's pretty much where the 50-pair moving average will be trading. Notice the higher swings on this pair as price has been moving to the upside. A slight consolidation band and then a bounce to the upside over Asian market trading, GMT. So that's very important. The next one we need to put in is our area that price needs to be trading or closing higher than at the close of play either today or tomorrow to confirm further upside movement, is the 1650-200 mark. So we'll put that in. There we go. If price can be trading above this going into tomorrow's session or the remainder of the week, then we could see this as a positive sign, and we should see further progression to the upside. If it breaks below obviously the 1650-200 mark, then we're seeing a consolidation taking place. And if it trades lower than the 1640-700 mark, then we're seeing a long-term consolidation, and we should see prior resistance levels being tested to the downside. Notice the CC's all in our favor. Obviously, we'd like to see if we can go through this morning and see a bounce on the 1650-200 mark, then we could see progression to the upside. And as I mentioned, then ideally our ceiling figure could be the 16,700 mark long term. Next up is the US dollar against Swiss franc. Let's have a look at the daily time frame. Here again, we've seen the US dollar sell off against its its chief counterpart. Notice that the major swings to the downside. It failed to break higher just recently in the start of last week, and sure enough, price fell to the downside. Now it's broken below a price swing at the 0.8600 mark. And now we're seeing a slight consolidation. This consolidation is probably just a consolidation pullback after a significant breakout. And then what we should see or look to confirm is a pullback, a failure to break higher than the 0.800 or 0.8600 mark, and then a continuation to the downside for this pair. So let's have a look at areas. So as it stands now, you can see that the pair has found a slight support area roughly around the 0.8500 mark. So intraday, let's put that in. So on hourly, there we go. You can see a slight breakouts. These are going to be your wicks on a larger time frame, but as long as it's trending above the 850 mark, then obviously we could see further consolidation and then possibly further momentum to the upside. Notice on the hourly time frame that price is now broken above the 20 period, the 50 period, and now above prior resistance levels at the 853 mark. If you can find support during the course of this morning at this level, or possibly pull back and still use the 50 period moving average at the 0.82500 mark, then we could see a further extension higher. Notice the CTC is still on this time from the hourly negative, very negative on the top. It's trading. It was trading for a very long time below the 20, acting as a great ceiling level, and then the 50 period moving average. Now it's broken below, above both these 2 points, showing a slight confirmation of a consolidation if it's to remain bullish and to see further progressions to the upside, and then looking at ideally the 8600 as our target on a daily as the consolidation pullback, the breakout, then we need to see price closing and trading higher than this prior resistance level on an hourly time frame at 852 or 853. Okay, so very, very important. We look at the 30 minutes, for example. There's that prior resistance level, ceiling, support, breakout, pullback, 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 failure. Still, however, finding support at roughly the 847, which are the wicks, 850 on a bigger time frame. But if you can find support above this, you can see the CTC is going positive as you speak. It's trading above the moving averages, the small term moving averages, and above the resistance level, which is bode well for this pair. However, we want to see the close of this candle. If we can see the close higher than the Asian market high, then what we can do is look for further progression to the upside. Targets would be roughly the 858 to start with, which should bring it in just below the 200 period moving average on a 30-minute time frame. So failure to break and close higher than 853, or find support 853 and close lower, then we could possibly be looking at another reattempt of the 847 to mark on these time frames. Last pair we're looking at today is the US dollar against Japanese yen. Let's have a look at the daily time frame. Okay, so Friday's close saw slight movement or hesitation. Sorry, Monday's close, apologize. And then Tuesday we've seen Asian market take off and trading higher. So what we're seeing now is after a failed break of 8200 and a pullback, we've seen price fall back to a price swing to the upside. Notice one over here. And previously, this was the uptrend for that time frame because it bounced higher. And now all it's done is it's fallen and failed to break lower than this prior swing high, which was at 80.57 and a bit, or 80.70. And now what we've seen is a bullish engulfing, and it's now engulfed the prior bearish candle. If you can see that, then obviously what we're doing is we're seeing a morning star formation of some sort, and we could see another reattempt of the 8200 very soon. So it's testing the 20 period moving as we speak. As long as price can be trading above this price support, then we should be looking for another consolidation opportunity taking place, and we could see 8200 being tested quite soon on this pair, even though the CTC is extended negative. Remember, on the daily time frame, we're still trading above the institutional moving average, which is the green line on the chart, and trading above also the 50 period moving average. And as long as that's happened, then obviously we're looking at a bearish outlook. Intraday, let's put those points in. So we know that the 80.70, there we go, is our support area. As long as it's trading above that, very, very important. Notice how on a 4-hour, we're now testing both a 200 and a 50 period moving average. Very strong ceiling levels, has to be trading higher than that. Okay, and once it's done that, then we're testing against the major support and resistance level at the 8200, where we've had a significant resistance level for some time. So it has to obviously trade above this little area here, and then once it's done that, then we're quite close to the 8200 mark. So is it worthwhile? Then ideally you want to see price trading higher than 8200 long term in order to give you the confirmation that we're seeing another attempt higher. The consolidation, if you look at the previous low, so we just took the low and we look at the 8200 as a ceiling level, then the pullback has taken us to the 50 period moving average. I mean the 50% fib. So we've seen a 50% pullback since the up move started back in early May, and now we're seeing a reattempt of the 8200 because of the support level. So if it can break above the 8100 or 8160, then we'll definitely see, and close higher than that, then we'll definitely see price testing the 8200 shortly. Failure to do so, and failing to close above 8160, Near side, we'll obviously see this is just a failed consolidation, and then we should see a reattempt of the 80-80 quite soon, and then back down to, if it fails to find support around that area, then back down to the prior start of this uptrend consolidation at roughly around the 79.55 mark. That's it for today, guys. I hope you have a fantastic trading day. Just make sure that you make a note of all the news that's coming out today. We've just had the GDP quarter-on-quarter figures for Swiss franc at 6:45 GMT come out as negative. They're forecasting 0.6%, came out at 0.3%. So we could see a bit of movement on the markets, European side, because of that. Later at 7 a.m. GMT this morning, we have German retail sales month-on-month figures. We have German unemployment change. They're expecting a slight figure, forecast of 31,000, minus 31,000. If it comes out less than that, then we can definitely see the euro taking a bit of a hammering today. Later this afternoon, we have 2 p.m. GMT. We have Canadian overnight rates. And then we have the CB consumer confidence results at 3 p.m. this afternoon. So take all these in. Make sure you factor them into your trading. If you are using the CTC as a strategy, please make sure that the template is in your favor, that the strategy is either negative or bullish across the board. Make sure your time frames coincide with each other before trading, and make sure that when you are trading that your money management rules fit. Don't want to be trading with an adverse risk to reward ratio. Otherwise, have a fantastic day, keep your trading simple, and trade serenely.